Sports Timeout Podcast with Jensen Maydew, Tony Caranco, and your host, Wes Underwood.
Welcome into the Sports Timeout Podcast, brought to you by Jefferson's. And go get some wings over there this week, and over the weekend, get some free fried pickles over there on Free Fried Pickle Friday. I mean, it's worth it. Always worth it. Can't go wrong with those. I mean, unless you don't like pickles, but then who are you, right? So,
exactly.
And then, brought to you by Robert's Integrative Dentistry. If you're looking for a brighter, straighter smile, be sure to schedule your appointment today at 417-622-0404. Wes Underwood, Clint, Tony, Jensen, Jonah, all them are out, but we got Tristan. Welcome back in. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, sir. How about yourself?
Man, day off today. It's gonna be beautiful. I can already feel it. Got to get some stuff done around the house, and then sports all weekend. That's gonna be nice.
Yeah, Sporting KC, 7:30 Saturday night, I believe.
Yes.
I'm super excited for that.
St. Louis. It's gonna be a fun game.
Yeah, it'll be an incredibly fun game.
Well, before we get started on all that good, fun stuff, go ahead and make sure to hit that subscribe and follow button on YouTube. And, well, first up, we go ahead and talk WNBA Draft. And, I mean, your thoughts here right now, I mean, we all knew it was going to happen. Caitlin Clark went number 1 overall. But are you good with how the draft went? Because I'm excited for my Chicago Sky. They got South Carolina's Cardoso. Then they traded up to get Angel Reese. Okay.
That was a big
solid
move.
First round. Yeah. Very good move. Round 2, they got Maxwell from Gonzaga. I mean, I feel they did a great job. I mean, one thing I was surprised about, though, in the whole draft, Kate Martin from Iowa going number 18 overall. I thought she'd be in the first round, but she bumped out to the second round. I don't know. I thought it was going to be a late round oneer, though. But positive note, she is going to the Aces. So, all that aside, anything stick out to you?
Well, Caitlin Clark's salary.
Yeah,
first round.
Okay.
First pick. I mean,
a lot of people outraged over this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna probably start something that will end up raising the brand of the WNBA as a whole.
Yeah.
Because overall, I think that's the goal, is to, bring more recognition not only to women's sports but the WNBA and WNBA in general. So, and if they marketed themselves better, then that would be a substantial increase in player salaries. So,
absolutely.
Overall, it's, I mean, a failure in bad management is really, what that amounts to. But I think, they'll end up turning it around and, bringing some sort of funding to the WNBA in that regard.
Yeah, people also have to remember the WNBA was founded in 1996. Play didn't begin until 1997. It's 27 years that they've been around now. The NBA has been around 50 years longer. They're at 77 years this year. I mean, 50 years longer, and we have these 27 years in the NBA. I mean, 27-ish years ago in the NBA to where the WNBA is now. This is where they were 27-ish years ago. The average salary was what? I have 90,000, and that was in the 70s. So WNBA highest salary right now. I mean, unfortunately, women's pay is a tad bit less, but 70-something thousand. But she can, in her 4th year, get 97,000 if she chooses that option. But 70,000 for the first 3 years. She just has to do that for 3 years, and then they can talk extensions and they can do all that stuff. And I think within those 4 years, there's definitely going to be a lot. But, I mean, like you said, WNBA will grow. It will expand. Caitlin Clark will have, in my opinion, I think she's going to have the Michael Jordan effect. People are going to follow Clark. They're going to follow Angel Reese, and they're going to follow Kate Martin because they know those names from the last couple
Mhm.
years. People are going to support them. People are going to buy jerseys. People are going to go to games with those three. And then, not even that, South Carolina players. I mean, they're going to go watch the players that got drafted from South Carolina too. So you got
Yeah.
a bigger base there. And with all this being said, it's going to open up the game more. People are going to follow college basketball a little bit more. I mean, viewership went up this year. Does it go back down a little bit next year? I believe so. But they did their jobs in college. They brought
Mhm.
attention to the NCAA. And like you said, I agree. They're going to bring the attention to the WNBA. And I mean, do you have anything else to add on that, or just you're good there now?
I'm pretty well good there.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you 100%. I think that's the direction it will go. 3 or 4 years when those rookie contracts are up, let's see what salaries we're looking at. Let's see.
I mean, it has to go in that direction because really you're gonna be looking at probably like an XFL situation like it was in the early 2000s
Yeah,
where the league itself is just going to end up going bankrupt, and then you just kind of wait around, wait for someone to possibly buy it to possibly revamp it maybe. But
absolutely.
it's either basically that, or they're going to have to improve marketing somehow to pay these players to
Yeah,
bring money into the league itself, because there's no way that they're turning a profit right now. No way.
absolutely. Nope. All right. On that note, the other NBA, and we'll just talk plain NBA, and we're going to talk playoffs at hand. And tonight we got a fun matchup. A lot going on here. Chicago and Miami are set to play tonight. Caruso's down. Big Jimmy Butler's down for the Miami Heat tonight. And I mean, look, what are the odds now with this news? Because he's out for quite a while. And that, I mean, really, he's going to miss the rest of the playoffs if they continue. But what odds would you give Miami in making it past Chicago tonight? Because Chicago had some pretty good momentum. Miami kind of struggled in their game, but I mean, Chicago powered past the Hawks. So,
Overall, I think you know I'm gonna go with Chicago. I would say I would ride the momentum right now, especially with, I mean, having Jimmy Butler not in the starting lineup is a huge blow
yeah,
to Miami. So, when it comes to who can truly, affect late in the game, Chicago is probably going to be able to capitalize on, not having Jimmy Butler in the lineup.
yeah.
So I got
Kobe
Chicago on this
White
one.
put up 45 the other night. If he can continue to do things like that, I think
Yeah,
they're going to go far.
for sure.
But yeah, I agree. I agree. Chicago it is. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully we aren't proven wrong. But next we go ahead and stay in the NBA, and we'll talk big issue in the sports world, and that's gambling. The sports world's newest victim is former Mizzou men's hoop star Jonte Porter, and now former Raptors player, has been banned from the NBA permanently. And the issue I have with this one is that the investigation is continued to be listed as open. So, I mean, I guess we'll go into more extent here. It's really weird because things like this, that's what gets me. Like, they don't even have the full investigation done. It's continuing to be investigated. The NBA launched this investigation in late March after sportsbooks noticed irregular betting on the over under on the Reserve Center statistics in two Raptors games. And both those games, Porter exited after only playing a few minutes. Then the NBA's investigation found that Porter revealed information about his own health to an unknown sports or to a known sports bettor ahead of the March 20th game against the Kings. And then another bettor close to that with the information placed an $80,000 same game parlay bet that featured unders on Porter's statistics and would win $1.1 million. And according to the NBA, Porter played 3 minutes before leaving the game with an illness. The bet which was placed at DraftKings, was not paid. So, and well, they're saying that he's placed at least 13 bets on NBA games using Associates online betting account, and then bets ranged anywhere from $15 to $22,000, totaling $54,000. I mean, look, I mean, if you're gonna do it, I'm stealing this from someone on the internet, but I loved it so much. Get yourself an interpreter for the game and pull a Shohei Ohtani because you're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
You're gonna get caught. Do you have any other thoughts on this one? Because I mean, he's red-handed, so I don't know. But
Yeah.
I guess really overall, what are your thoughts on players betting in general? Because you got to know deep down they've got an investment somewhere with someone that's linked to their name. You know it's there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'd have to say no, because mostly because it started to affect the game of college football,
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
Iowa State scandal. So, it's something, keep it to the people that are not athletic enough to be doing what you're doing right now.
true.
The players should not be betting on themselves. That's almost, it's just scandalous in my opinion.
Yeah,
So I mean, the ban 100% is well deserved if especially if that investigation goes that deep, and and you even said yourself it's still an open investigation. So
yeah.
still more things that could be uncovered, and overall, he made a he made a bad choice, but at the same time, I'm glad the NBA cracked down on it, and they're not, letting this kind of thing, hopefully not letting it, continue on.
I mean, it kind of goes on. Like we know players probably do it, but this has been stemming for a long time with all the allegations of the referees. Like
Mm-hmm.
every sport. Like, do the referees have the same rules as the players? That's my big question. Because you never really see the referees getting, like, as of late, you have because of the Chiefs, obviously. And then
Right.
LeBron, games with LeBron, like referees in those games, but people betting against LeBron, and you feel like some of the referees are throwing those games against LeBron because there's been some very controversial fouls in those games and some very controversial plays and then time added at the wrong spot and all this kind of stuff. Like, you never know, but there's got to be betting going on somewhere. And I mean, it's either got to stop or you got to make it legal for the players somewhere
Yeah.
in there. So I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
It's different.
overall, I don't see how it helps the game, but if they can find some way to, make it make sense, then, I guess I would probably, listen. But as of right now, I mean, I don't see how it
They're even
possibly affects the
that's
game.
it helps the game because they're sponsors of the game. Like DraftKings, they sponsor MLB, they sponsor the NFL, they sponsor the
UFC,
NBA, huh? Yeah,
UFC.
UFC, yeah, yeah. I mean, every sport, fighting, college, they're there. They advertise, and it's like, how are these teams and how are these colleges allowed to advertise that when the players can't touch any of it
Yeah.
or the
Well, and
coaches?
Well, and if you're going to make it legal for the players, then you've got to kind of open up the bag of worms of, are we going to start making sports betting legal in all 50 states? Because if we're going to
Yeah,
make it legal in sports, we've got to make it legal for, the general public. You
absolutely.
know, and it usually works hand in hand. That, yeah,
It's true.
opens up to the general public first, and then,
It's a lot.
goes on to, yeah, the corporations of, yeah, these different sports. But yeah, I mean, because yeah, I would love to be able to get on DraftKings or something, but
Poor Pete Rose, man.
yeah, Pete Rose started a wave that didn't kick off for quite a while. up until the last couple of years.
It's crazy. Next up in the MLB, we'll go ahead and we'll start talking Trevor Bauer. And I mean, this one is also just a huge mess here. The woman who accused Trevor Bauer of sexual assault was put up for fraud in Arizona. Ismanu, I believe is the name, filed a lawsuit against Bauer in 2022, later updated in 2023, alleging he sexually assaulted her in 2020, which led to an unplanned pregnancy. In court filings, Bauer's attorney described the situation as a single sexual encounter that was consensual. Bauer construed Esmundo for fraud, saying she was attempting to harass and extort money from him in the wake of similar allegations made by 3 other women, which those other allegations also got dropped in court. They were all able to settle with nothing, just a handshake, a hug, and all this kind of stuff. And I mean that shows me that there was really nothing there, and that they should either drop it or he would sue them back. So, but also in a statement provided by or to ESPN by his lawyers, Bauer said that she demanded 3.6 million from him and claimed I forced her to have an abortion. And then when he refused to pay her the 3.6 million she was asking for, she made up the bogus sexual assault claim and filed a civil suit against him. And I think the MLB owes him, this is me now, I think the MLB owes him an apology. Bauer deserves his pay from the Dodgers, and then he should be able to choose at this point, since he is a free agent, he should be able to choose any team he wants to play for this season. I think he should be able to join a contender. He should be able to play in the playoffs if he decides to wait this out a little bit longer and then join a team in the postseason. And also, I don't understand why they would put him on administrative leave, suspend him for 2 seasons, then reduce it, then let him join a team and reduce his pay for 50 of them. I mean, again, like I stated, nothing ever came from the other cases. And again, a couple of them even settled. I mean, this guy deserves his full contract. He deserves payment from the lady who accused him, which I think is what he wants to get out of this other lady, Esamanu, whatever you say there. I apologize for butchering the name, but I believe he deserves payment from her. And I believe that since the others settled, I think that's good. I think he should be fine, but the MLB should let him come back with nothing on his record. I think that this should just be done and he should be able to come back. Unfortunately, in this process, he lost 2 years of his MLB career, and he should be able to join this year and just keep it at those 2 years. But what are your thoughts on that one? I mean, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, lose 2 years of your life for something that, you're, you know, most likely, may not have really anything to do with, or,
Yeah.
are not totally, guilty of everything that was, said. So, in any situation like that, you feel bad for the victim, really, which obviously Trevor Bauer seems like, he's the victim in this situation. So, overall, I think the MLB should, yeah, look at the wrongdoings that
Yep.
that they've probably overlooked. And, yeah, if Trevor Bauer deserves to be, reinstated based on what, the legal system says, then
Yeah.
I see no problem. I see no problem in it. And yeah, if he needs to be reimbursed for a false accusation like that, then for sure needs to be, the action needs to be taken in that sense.
If the Yankees are the team, how are you feeling?
I mean,
Would you want him as a fan?
as a fan of the Yankees,
Yeah.
as a fan of the Yankees, maybe, you obviously, you don't want to look at the drama as, you want to look at that as a, that's a one-time thing that's not gonna, follow him around his entire career.
Yeah.
So really, as a fan, I'm kind of torn in that sense, that, you know the Yankees need to worry about closing out 7-game series, 4-game series, and not choking in the playoffs. And
Yeah.
you know, uh, well, everyone, anyone knows that. But
It's
so I mean,
comparable. It's
yeah,
comparable to the Jameis Winston of the NFL.
yeah. I
He's the
mean,
Jameis Winston of the MLB. Like Jameis had a lot of these allegations too, and now he's fine. He's good.
yeah.
Everything
I
came
mean,
out negative for him. So
right. Overall, as a fan of as the Yankees in general, you want to see someone like Trevor Bauer to add more power to the lineup.
yeah,
Um,
be great
you
in that
know,
bullpen.
and you just hope that, this is a one-time thing. The drama doesn't follow him around.
Yeah,
But yeah, if I'm the Yankees, I'm seriously looking at this situation as a possible win-win, in the clubhouse. Um,
yeah.
just hopefully they are able to make moves to where they can end
We'll
up
see.
bringing a World Series
I
title.
mean, he's a free agent. We'll see where he can end up landing after that. I think he lets all this court stuff settle before he comes back in. Maybe around All-Star break we'll hear some rumors, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when he'll make a decision is around then if everything clears out like it's supposed to. But yeah.
Right.
All right. Next in the MLB, we'll go ahead and talk way early playoff predictions. And based on the seedings where they are right now, and it's a 5-way run for the AL East right now. I mean, we talked about this briefly for a minute, but only 3.5 games separate the Yankees from being in last place where the Reds are. And I mean, that's crazy to see that. And then you've got 3 weeks into the season. That's where everything is there. And then for the Central, AL Central, you have Cleveland, Kansas City, Detroit in the mix right now. That could be a fun division to watch unfold down the road. The AL West, you have Texas in first with Seattle and the Angels lurking on the outside. And then in the NL East, you have the Braves and the Phillies and the Mets within 2.5 games of each other. So that's going to be a fun division to watch. In the NL Central, you have Milwaukee, Chicago, and Pittsburgh in one game of each other. And then St. Louis is within three. They're in last right now, but they're within three. And then over the NL West, you have the Dodgers, the Padres, the Diamondbacks, all within 2 games. The Giants are within three. The Rockies are 7 out. I'm not holding too faithful in the Rockies in that division, but you never know. You never know. Um, AL West, Texas, Seattle. In my opinion, those are going to be the top 2 teams fighting out there. AL East, Tristan, you probably think I think the Yankees hold on. We'll come back to that in just a second. I think that they will. Then in the NL Central, I told Cards fans I could see a playoff run, and if all goes well, they stay close. You're within 3 games right now of the division crown. You can hold it together and things settle down. I think they do make the playoffs. So hold on, hold on, and then if they get hot at the right time, they're in a very winnable division. NL East, I think the Braves, unless something goes wrong. NL West, I'll take the Dodgers in a slim margin, but I think they outlast the Padres. But I mean, do you agree with those? Do you have anything different?
Overall, I could seriously see a Yankees and Dodgers World Series more than
Yeah.
likely. If I mean, obviously the Dodgers, very, very stacked this year.
Yeah.
So I see, the Dodgers may kind of slow down closer to the All-Star break, but I think the last half of the season, the Dodgers are going to light up. And then, I'm
Absolutely.
hoping as a Yankees fan, I'm hoping that I can say that the Yankees will stay hot the entire season. But, I know that they're probably going to have a bad month or so, probably after the All-Star break. But,
Yeah.
we'll see
It's
in
just been their
October.
track record. So
Yeah. We can't close out a season to save our life. So
I know it's weird. All
can't
that
ever
money,
do it
man.
strong, at least.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we'll go ahead and talk soccer, and we talk NWSL and the current return to CPKC this weekend. They still have no losses on the season. They played a fairly decent game last week, being after a bye week, and we have a very special guest that we're going to go ahead and take a look and talk to about this game. Yeah, here it is. And yeah, we bring back to the show former Kansas City Current and now Bay FC, excuse me, defender Alex Loera. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, it's one of those weeks for sure.
Yeah.
We talked there for a brief minute, kids sick 1 minute, and then back at work the next day. So yeah,
Mhm.
kind
Yeah,
of like an off day, right?
a little bit.
But yeah, how's it going? How's everything for you?
Yeah, it's good. Just happy to be in California whenever possible, and I love it here. So,
Yeah,
got family, friends. The team's doing really well in high spirits, and so I think that's really nice weather, all you can ask for. So,
yeah.
yeah, pretty happy.
Well, hopefully it's not raining when you get back to KC this week. So,
Yeah.
but
Hopefully not, but even if it is, it's okay.
yeah. And well, we'll go ahead and do that and talk on that. Last time we talked, you were on the Current raising money for your mission trip. Would you care
Yeah.
to kind of share how that went?
Yeah, honestly, it was the best experience of my life. Um, just seeing the joy that the people that are from Honduras have, and just the way that the Lord is working in their lives and using our sport to work in their lives. I think it was just super admirable, inspiring, and just honestly made me even more grateful for the things that I do have that sometimes I take for granted.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a very eye-opening experience, and I think I'm trying to go every year because I just loved it so much. Um, so yeah, it was incredible, and thank you guys so much for your donation and helping with that.
Not a problem.
I'm extremely grateful.
Yeah, glad to see that you got to go do some fun stuff and hear the story there. That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. And I mean, like I said, I've been on a few myself, and I mean they're eye opening for sure. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but next up we go ahead and talk off season. You leave Kansas
Mm.
City, head to a new franchise in the NWSL, AFC, which was part of the expansion. What helped lead to that decision, and how has that transition been for you thus far?
Well, I'm not sure what led to that decision. I wasn't really involved in the decision at all. But I think just the transition, the people here, the ownership, the management, the staff, the coaching staff, and then obviously once more players were added, just the support that I've received from not only inside the organization, but fans as well. I think, they just made it feel like home again as soon as possible. And their excitement for me to come join here, just the energy that they brought around my name, I think that like really hit home with me.
Yeah.
I felt that with the Kansas City fans as well. So I was a little bummed to leave that environment, but I've come to an equally great environment here with the fans and the team. And so I think that's been super helpful in the transition. And then obviously my relationship with Leslie Osborne and her family, I think that has been really grounding for me.
It's awesome. And so you speak on that, players being added around you. A lot of people probably don't know that you were the first player in the team's history. So what was that moment like for you? Because I mean, it's not every day that that happens. So
Yeah, it's definitely a huge honor, and I'm so grateful and humbled that they chose me to fulfill that. And so I think it just speaks volumes to not only the level of play and talent that they want from their players, but also just the people that they're bringing in are really good people.
yeah,
Um, and even all my teammates are just amazing people. Like their hearts are so pure and they're just amazing, and staff as well. Like everyone here is just a good human, and I think that started with the players and the signings that they did bring in.
awesome. And so we go ahead and talk the game at CPKC. We talked about history and the team being added. in that previous question, last year you got to be a part of the process of going
Mm-hmm.
to the stadium, getting the tours, seeing the pitch, watching the beam be raised. What will it mean for you to be able to play in that first stadium ever built for women? I mean, for a pro team, and especially after giving a couple of good seasons that helped the franchise.
Yeah, I am obviously very excited to be playing in this stadium. Bummed that I didn't get to experience it with the team, but that's okay. I'm excited to just for what they're doing for women's sports with that stadium just sets the standard. And I remember our owner Alan Waxman at the beginning of preseason came in and he was like, throw out any questions. And I was like, when are we getting our own stadium? Just because I had seen the whole process,
Yeah.
the buzz around it, just everything was so crucial to women's sports and taking that next step. And he was like, don't worry, like it's in plan, like we'll get there. And he was like, you must have been from Kansas City. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm just really excited to be in that environment. I'm excited to see the field and see the girls again. I'm excited to see the fans again and just get to see some familiar faces. So yeah, it's just gonna be a really cool experience for me.
It's awesome. Glad to hear. And next to that, what are you looking forward to the most in your return to Kansas City this weekend? You mentioned the girls there, you mentioned the fans. Anything else?
Yeah, I honestly I'm just gonna stick with the girls. Like I am staying a couple extra days after to hang out with Desi and Mallory and some of the other girls on the team. And so I just to see some faces that I didn't really get to say bye to at the end.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be, yeah, I'm excited to see Vanessa, Hammy, Evol, Gabby, AD, just like everybody.
Yeah.
And to just like give them a hug again. Honestly.
That's great. That's great. And
Yeah.
all right, lastly, I'd like to go ahead and talk the match at hand. What's your all's mindset going into this one as a team?
Yeah, I think we're very aware of how strong Kansas City has been playing. They've got some amazing additions to the team. And so we're very aware of that. But at the same time, we also have a lot of strong and talented players on our team. And so I think we're just, gonna go out there and try to give them their first loss because they've been doing so well. And so just go out there, focus on us, do what we can do best. And so I think that's just our mentality is go try to get the 3 points and, enjoy ourselves while we do it.
I mean, being a Kansas City fan in general, Chiefs, Royals, you name it, cross-state rivals for the Royals and the Cardinals, just watching that back and forth banter, I'm sure you're probably going to have some fun trash talk moments. I can see that out there. So
I already know me and Lo Mama are gonna be chirping in each other's ear, all
yeah,
in good fun. But I love that girl so much. But I know that it's gonna be a fun game. It's just I think it's gonna be really fun to. It was obviously very fun to play with them, but I think just like now we all know each other, the banter, and so yeah, it's gonna be. I'm gonna be chirping in Gabby Robinson's ear and be like, "Girl." So yeah, it'll be really awesome, and I'm really excited to come back.
good. Well, we appreciate your time and thank you for taking time out of your week. And yeah, we'll see you this
Thanks for
weekend.
having me. Yeah, see you.
She brought up the upset factor. Alex did, and I looking forward to the matchup. I'm glad she's okay. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for our interview with Michelle Cooper as we get the Kansas City Current side there, but you won't want to miss that one. Michelle, she's been on the show a few times and she's a good interview. Can't wait to have her on. Be looking for that tomorrow before the game begins. We'll post it. Not quite sure yet, but we'll post it before the game. So it'll be tomorrow afternoon for sure. And then on that note, we're going to go ahead and talk about sporting. And I mean, they looked a lot better against Inter Miami, but they unfortunately fell short. Tommy looked great. 2 absolute bangers into the back of the net. And I thought he outperformed Messi, in my opinion, but just the way he played and the way he scored, he made it look a lot nicer. He had that stadium of 72,000 just in an uproar, even the Messi fans. But yeah, Messi brought the crowd. Like I said, 72,610 fans to be exact. Second highest soccer attendance in the world last weekend. Number one in the state of Missouri. Well done. Well done. I loved every minute of it. Great match, great fans. But all that aside, it's the showdown between Sporting Kansas City and St. Louis. SKC's had trouble at home winning, and STL looks for revenge after being ousted by SKC in last year's playoffs. What are you looking forward to here? I mean, the hype of this match is just as good as last week's, in my opinion. Just it returns back to Children's Mercy Park.
Right. I'm just hoping for a good defensive game. I mean, obviously, when it comes to our attacking half, we're pretty good at, getting inside and being able to score goals.
Yeah.
But defensively, we can't ever, keep goals from happening. What was it? I believe it was LA Galaxy. They allowed 3 goals in less than 10 minutes. I mean, that's just absolutely bogus in my opinion. And then Inter Miami, I understand you've got Suarez as in there, and you've also got Jordi Alba, and you've also got Messi,
Yeah.
in there. So when defending and attacking Inter Miami team is going to be very, very difficult overall, anyways. But
Yep.
obviously we know this isn't the first time. So
No.
defensively, we need to get a lot better if we plan on winning the MLS Cup, or really any cup for that matter.
I mean, they did great, and it was unfortunately the Jake Davis turnover that led to that. But I mean,
Yeah.
they did phenomenal defending the ball against Messi. They shut him down in the first half. In fact, they had him to where he was just standing there observing what he needed to do in the second half, because after they shut him down for the first 25 minutes, that's when he just stood back there and he's like, all right, what do I need to do? How can I help these guys? What do I see out here? Because you could just see him laser eyeing the field, looking for the weaknesses, looking for that stuff. And that's what a good captain does. And that's just one thing Sporting Kansas City lacks. I mean, I love Johnny Russell. I love Shalloway. And I love Eric Tommy out there. But Russell, been injured, hasn't been in the starting lineup for the last few. And then you got Tommy and Shalloway, who are still fairly young to the game, but can be pretty potent at points. So once they find the right of way there and get that ship turned around, I think they'll be fine. I think this second half after the break, I think that they're going to be okay. And if they fall, that's going to be on them. I think they have all the talent they need going forward. And I mean, they also have the farm club in Sporting Kansas City too, and then the prep team. I mean, if they need to go down there, they've got depth right now, and they can bring it up if needed. So, but on that note, we'll head into the local sports update brought to you by Trackside Burgers. They're open at 1515 West 10th Street. Go get one of Chef Mike's specialties, and Tristan likes that streetcar. What?
Streetcar number 60.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yep. That thing it's always good. That one's definitely always good. And it's on the menu for sure. But we talk weekend high school baseball. And again, due to all the rain last week and then kind of cold nights this week and some weird weather and wind, a couple of games got postponed due to weather that were not in the four-state area. They were a little out of the four-state area. Games are being made up. Joplin, Webb, Neosho, Carthage, CJ, everybody else, just be looking on their social media pages because games are still being kind of wonky. Next weekend, we had a lot of teams not playing right now. So next weekend, they'll be back in action for the most part. So not a lot to get to there, but if they are, make sure you tune into their social media pages. And we'll head into the 2-minute warning brought to you by Hot Stone Pizzeria. If you're not feeling like cooking this weekend, go grab a chicken bacon ranch pizza this weekend. That's my personal favorite. And MSSU softball on the road. They take on Mo Western today, excuse me, in a doubleheader beginning at 2. And then tomorrow they take on Northwest Missouri State in a doubleheader beginning at noon. As for baseball, they will host Missouri Western for a 3-game stand today at 6. It's also alumni night at Joe Becker, and they'll play there at 6 p.m. Then tomorrow they got Senior Day at Warren Turner Field. That game will begin at 1 p.m. And then Sunday they'll wrap up their home schedule this year for the regular season with a 1 p.m. start as well. And, well, the music's here, so it's the end of another episode for Tony, Jensen, Clint, Jonah, Tristan, and myself. That's a mouthful to say now. And, yeah, have a great weekend. Make sure you go get some ghetto tacos before your game this weekend or whatever you do before you travel or when you're coming back into town. 10% off of burritos today. You can't get that tonight, then make sure you grab some breakfast burritos tomorrow or over the week. I mean, those are so good. I need to get another one. I gotta go tomorrow for sure. So
For sure.
Also, be sure to get some food at the food truck wherever they are. Food Truck Fridays are coming back, so make sure you get out to Carthage for that. And then I know they have Taco Tuesdays in Joplin on Main Street. So anything else? Doing anything fun this weekend?
Just gonna watch Sporting KC Saturday night.
Okay.
And then now I'm just gonna enjoy this beautiful weather.
Yeah, it's supposed to be nice this weekend. Tonight we're recording early. Tonight was a little drawback, but it's gonna be good. We'll be fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
All right. Indeed. We'll catch you next week on the Sports Timeout. Hey, all you young bucks down there at school, better not be staying up late Sunday night. Okay?
As Sketch would say, it's time to put the kids to bed.
It's not Tuesday.
Special teams, special plays, special players.
No cussing. Have a good day. Have a good week. See y'all later.
Keep it family friendly.